parents get very close with their children, and it begins to, and as children get older, it feels like a friendship. And what gets really confusing, and what is often a source of hurt and harm and confusion, is that sense that we're friends with our children. We will never be friends with our children. And as children do age, there does become more of a mentorship type of relationship and a shared relationship where you can have more open adult conversations and shared stories. But there's always going to be a little something different between a parent and a child, and that's a wonderful thing. It's very special. It's one of the most special relationships you'll ever have in your life. But what's very important at this early age is for you to be able to articulate and demonstrate how you're not friends. And so I really want to emphasize that first, making sure that there is a difference. And the difference is this: a parent doesn't need the approval of their child. So there's no seeking approval. It doesn't mean that we don't want our children to like us or to get positive reinforcement and positive feedback from our children, but we don't need our children's approval in order to make decisions for ourselves and for them. And to realize that you are always going to be the best judge of your situation, and until your child is an adult, you are going to be the best judge of their situation under most circumstances. The second piece is that you act on it. And part of acting on it is you also act on it in the sense of you're not going to vent about things, adult things, work experiences you've had, financial issues that you guys are having, personal issues that you're having. You're going to adults to help you solve those types of problems and to vent. And it's okay to say mom's going through a really hard time right now and to be able to be transparent about what's going on for you. But there's a difference between being transparent, saying, hey, there's a problem, but I'm working on it right now, and venting about it. The next piece of it is that you get to decide, like I said, what is in your child's best interest. Your child doesn't get to decide. And often what I've heard from many parents and many mothers is a sense of guilt when you do things for yourself. First of all, we need self-care, or we are not offering the best version of ourselves to anybody we love, and you know this. Second of all, you are modeling for how important friendships and relationships, peer relationships are. What's so important are these peer relationships and the ability to make new friends and to spread our wings and find family outside of our family. And that is a coping skill. That's an adaptive survival skill. And what you're doing by taking care of yourself and having adult friendships is modeling how valuable and important that is. And so I want to give you permission to be selfish and to do some of these things, because I know for many moms I work with, there's a lot of guilt behind leaving your child angry and sad and feeling abandoned at home while you're going out and having a drink with some girlfriends. And I want you to know that is absolutely okay. You're doing something that's hard now that will pay off for you later, and in the form of modeling. Sometimes you just can't explain certain things to your children at that age, but what you can do that's so valuable is to acknowledge their feelings and validate their feelings. So to be able to address the feeling, like, I really see how upset you are, and I think I would probably feel upset too if I were in your shoes. It must be confusing that I'm leaving like this, but it's very important that mom goes, and I will be back and you'll be okay. And I think that piece is very important. Being able to tell your child, you're going to be okay and you're going to be able to handle this, and this is not a reflection of how much I love you. When you do have time with your children, I think it's very important to label that time as how important you love your children. And I tell parents, and it's like magical, I've worked with so many parents, even 10 minutes a day. And they're like, you know, me and you, 10 minutes, let's paint nails. Whatever it is, take a walk around the neighborhood. It doesn't have to be much, but being able to set aside very specific and designated special time for the two of you is very powerful, because what you're showing is that you're purposeful about your time together that's special, in the same way that you were purposeful with your time with your friends. So again, it's all about modeling. You really don't have to do a whole lot of explaining. If your child begins to have a meltdown, what is more important than anything, in order for you to maintain your trust with your child, is to follow through as best as you can You follow through. I don't care if they are holding onto your leg and you are dragging them, through the hallway as you leave, and you have to peel their fingers off your leg and shut the door so you can get out of the house. It is so important that you follow through, because what happens is it creates, anytime you go back on your word, your child has a meltdown and you change your plans as a result of that. Even though in the moment it seems like they got their way, you alleviated the situation, they feel better in the moment, what you've created now is what's called an ambiguous attachment. And what happens in an ambiguous attachment is essentially children lose trust of their parents, and what happens is then they start to panic and have meltdowns at what feels like to you at random times. That sometimes you seem fine, sometimes you're not fine, and they have a meltdown over nothing. And that's kind of the behavioral piece, what you're saying. What's happened is they don't trust you. They don't trust that you're going to come back, and they don't feel secure in their relationship with you. So what is so important is whatever you do, just stick to your game plan. And I hope that was helpful and gives you kind of a starter. Again, if there's something more specific that's been really challenging, feel free to send me a personal message and I'll get back to you, or throw it on the bottom of this feed.